What's up guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. So today I thought it would be fun if we could review Ethan Harold's anabolic apple pie recipe. Now if you don't know who Ethan Harold is, he's another YouTuber that kind of does the same thing as I do. He's kind of like a fitness influencer. He just does recipes or review other recipes or just talk about tips and diet tips in general. So yeah, if you don't know who he is, go check him out. I'll put him in the description below. And we're gonna be reviewing his recipe today. So if you think about apple pie, it's usually a super high calorie dense thing. So the object of anabolic apple pie is to take the good stuff of an apple pie, like the apples and stuff, and just lower the calories of the other stuff, like the flour, the crust, and still make it taste good in the end so that you can eat a lower calorie, higher protein option and still get the enjoyment as if you're eating a normal apple pie. So that being said, let's clean the kitchen and then we'll get into making this recipe. All right, so now that we got that taken care of, we can get to actually making the recipe. So first I'm gonna go through the ingredients that you're gonna need, and then we can get into starting to assemble this apple pie. Woo! All right, let's go through what you're gonna need according to Ethan's video. So in absolutely no particular order, the ingredients that you're gonna need in order to make this anabolic apple pie are coconut flour, xanthan gum, an apple pie pan or really tin of any sort. You can kind of use anything. An ungodly amount of whatever sweetener you have. I have stevia. White flour or all-purpose flour. Now, yes, you did hear that right. We're gonna be using normal flour in this recipe. We're not gonna be using that much, but it really does make it taste better. Truvia brown sugar. This is basically just a blend of erythritol and stevia. Low-fat honey-made graham crackers. Baking soda, any type of weight scale that you can get your hands on, cinnamon. The lowest calorie bread that you can find, I found this at Aldi's. It is keto friendly. I am not keto, but it is 40 calories per slice, more like 45 because they lie about the amount of grams. But yeah, the lowest calorie bread you can find. Aluminum foil, just a nice little container to hold stuff in. Any blender that you have, I have a Vitamix, but any blender will do fine as long as it's not really bad quality. Olive oil spray or another cooking spray that is of low calorie variety. A knife. Cup measurer. 6 apples of any type that you can really find. I'm using Granny Smith apples, I think. I don't really know what these are. A large cooking pot. This is where we're gonna cook the apples in. And last, but certainly not least, any protein powder that you have. Personally, in the video, Ethan is using vanilla protein powder. Unfortunately, all I have is a fruity cereal protein powder from My Protein and a chocolate brownie. So I thought fruity cereal sounded a little bit more like apple pie than chocolate brownie. I'm gonna try and make it so that I am least biased as possible because I'm assuming that vanilla would probably taste a lot better in apple pie than fruity cereal, but you don't know. So that being said, let's get to making the recipe. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna need to do is take your weight scale and then your little container, put it on. Take one of those packs of graham crackers, get it all in there. And you should have about this much grams, so 140 grams in there afterward. And then you're just gonna take whatever you can and just smash up your graham crackers. Now because I'm so strong, I can use my fist, so I'll see you guys after we smash these up. Oh my God. All right, I'd say that's about as good as we're gonna get for that. So the next thing that we're gonna do is take 40 grams of our protein powder. Okay, so unfortunately the camera cut out while I was putting the ingredients in this bowl, but the only thing that's in here is the graham crackers from before, and we have 40 grams of our protein powder, 2 grams of cinnamon, 2 grams of a 0-calorie sweetener. I use stevia. And then one thing I forgot to put in the intro, I'm using Vermont-made sugar-free maple syrup, but you're supposed to use Walden Farms. I think it'll be just as good. They're pretty much the same thing. And all you have to do is put 90 grams of that in the bowl. All right, so then all you gotta do is push your scale aside, grab something to mix with, and then you just stir it all up. All right, so we're pretty much almost completely stirred up. So now at this point, if you needed to get a little bit more stickiness, by the way, you can just add a slight bit more maple syrup. But at this point, we're going to take our pie tin after we take our oil spray. It's very important that you spray before you do this. We are going to lay our crust into the pie tin. Okay, so once you get it spread out a good bit with a spoon like this, you're gonna notice it gets too sticky to control anymore. So one thing you can do is get some aluminum foil, put it over, and this is shown in Ethan's video as well. Put some non-stick on that, and then you can turn that over, put it into the pan, and then you're very carefully gonna spread out with your hands. Try and do it as evenly as possible, the rest of the thing. Okay, so I got it about as spread out as I think I'm gonna get it. So then what you can do is you can try and slowly take off the covering. Now, if it does stick, which mine is not right now, you can just take a fork and slowly put it under. We are going to take our pie filling and put it in the oven for 6 minutes, baking at 350 degrees. And while we're waiting for that, we're gonna start with our apples. Okay, so now we're gonna grab a cutting board, our 6 apples, and a pot, set the pot aside, and then all we're gonna do is simply cut up our 6 apples into nice little apple-sized apple pie chunks. All right, then you're gonna grab your big boy pot, take all your apple slices, and just squirt them on in there. All right, so it's been 6 minutes, so we are going to take our apple pie out of the oven. It is going to be underbaked, but that is what we want. That is what Ethan wants. Then you just put the door on. All right, now what we're gonna do is set our pie to the side. Put our thing on the stove top with the apples. Add a half a cup of water. Put on a nice top. And Ethan doesn't really say how long to cook them for or what heat to put them at, but I'm gonna put them at medium. And we're just gonna allow them to cook while we do the rest of our recipe. All right, so now that that's cooking, we're gonna get our food scale again. We're gonna add another 40 grams of protein powder, 5 grams of cinnamon, 8 grams of Truvia brown sugar blend, and then you're gonna need to add an astounding 25 grams of sweetener. So apparently Ethan likes it really sweet, but you know, I'm not against it. This is a lot of sweetener though. Okay, so now while you have those apples sitting, we're at the final step. We're just gonna make a topping to the apple thing. So you're gonna take 4 slices of your low-calorie bread, put them in, take your weight scale, 1 more scoop or 40 grams of your protein powder. Okay, so I also forgot to say this, but you're gonna wanna add in 3 egg whites, which is the equivalent of about probably 100 grams or 150. 2 grams of xanthan gum. You do not want to go overbearing on this because it counts for a lot in the recipe. 2 grams of cinnamon, another 4 grams of a 0-calorie sweetener, 10 grams of coconut flour, 10 grams of your regular ass all-purpose flour, 2 grams of baking soda. All right, now all you gotta do is take that blender and blend it all up. You're gonna wanna have a spatula for this part so you can rub down the sides as things get stuck. After a good bit of blending, you should be good. Now you have your topping. Okay, so it's probably been a good amount of time on the stove, so I'd say the apples should be completely good to go. So you can take the thing off, turn down the heat, and then, as you can see, it's soaked in nicely. I think they're the consistency I want. Now I'm just gonna put them all on the apple sheet. I'm gonna scrape off the bottom and get all that good juice on. All right, then all you have to do is take up your topping that you got and spread it across your apple pie. All right, and now once you spread that across, I added a bit of cinnamon on top of mine, and all we're gonna do is put it in the oven again for another 6 minutes. Once that 6 minutes is over, you can take it out and enjoy yourself a nice anabolic apple pie. Hey guys, it's Editor Aidan again. Just a quick note I wanted to say before you put the apple pie in the oven. I think that the cooking times can totally vary based on how mushy or, you know, the consistency you want of the actual pie. Because if you cook it just for 6 minutes, like Ethan says, for me, I actually really like the consistency because the apples were still pretty crunchy, and I kind of like the crunchy consistency with the apple pie. But I can definitely see how some people would think it's underbaked. So if you want to cook it a bit longer, by all means do so, and you're just going to get a slightly different consistency. Have a great day. All right, there's the apple pie. Oh my God. We finally have the apple pie. It's been in the oven. It's done. Now, I know I might sound a bit exhausted. You haven't been behind the scenes, okay? This has been a struggle. This is not the first apple pie that I've cooked. The first one was in another tin, which halfway through, I was almost done making it. And as I was turning to turn on the camera, I managed to have the entire thing topple onto the floor, glass shattered everywhere. I cut my finger, I cut my foot, and I also cut my will to live. But we got another one out. I finally managed to get it done after probably 3 hours of recording. Yeah, no, I'm really ready to taste this. I'm gonna take a fourth of apple pie. And for anyone who's wondering, higher apple pie, 1,834 calories. This is obviously not exact. This is just an estimation based on Ethan Harold's recipe. 17.5 grams of fat, 364 grams of carbs, 105 grams of protein, and almost 60 grams of fiber. So basically nothing is gonna fill you up as much as this. Yeah, no, I'm ready to, I'm just gonna slice into this. Oh my God, you hear that? You like that sound? I'm gonna put the mic a little closer. A little juicer right there. Oh shit. All right, so a fourth of this pie, if my math is correct, I'm an astounding math student, is about 450 calories. So let me get this out onto a plate. Now, I know I did not use a vanilla protein powder. I only had fruity cereal, so this might be really bad, but I will try and take the bias out of it and taste it for as it is. All right, I'm gonna set this to the side, and then we can get to tasting this apple pie. We have the apple pie out on the plate. Now, Ethan Harold, if you're watching, I'm gonna try and be as unbiased as possible, okay? This did take me 3 hours to make, and you know what they say, the longer it takes to make something, the better it tastes. So we're gonna see if that principle holds true. First bite, guys. Oh, I like that. A little bit of a soft apple. Let me get all the sauce on that. First bite, going in. Oh my God. Okay, so I know I was gonna say I was gonna be unbiased, but that's really good. It's a little cold because it's been sitting out for a while, but I could have cooked the apples a bit longer. They're not as soft as I would like them, but other than that, the topping, you know, gives a really creamy, succulent texture. It's as if your mouth is just being filled with white cream. Cinnamon. I'm really glad we added that much cinnamon. You get that really nice cinnamon aftertaste. And actually, somehow, I have no idea how the fruity cereal taste, it's not that disturbing. I mean, it would obviously be better if it was vanilla, but somehow it's not absolutely repulsive. Other than that though, yeah, no, the graham cracker crust, it's all coming together. Now, is it as good as a normal apple pie using like sugar and shit? No, but is it good as a like high protein alternative? 100%. It takes a long time to cook, so this would not be something that you'd want to make like every couple of days. You know, this is something that you make once a month or like for a special occasion. But yeah, no, this is great. And especially for the calories and macros that you get for it, I can 100% recommend. All right, well, I'm gonna absolutely destroy this. I kind of want to die inside, not gonna lie, but thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe. Make sure to check out Ethan's channel. He is a great YouTuber, and this recipe is really good. He's got other recipes like this as well, not apple pie, but also stuff that you can make a lot faster than this and have a lot more often. So I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh my God.